So one of the ways to thrive in the socialverse is to make sure that your content looks and feels very much like content that people would see in their feeds from friends and family members. So it's personal, it's friendly, it's human interest, it's very much personalized. It's not like a cold brand or logo or corporate structure that's communicating. It's people. I'm Mari Smith. I'm the premier Facebook marketing expert and a top social media thought leader. So what's happening in the social verse is something I'm calling social saturation. There are actually 10 or more social channels that businesses need to be active on, and then consumers are having to engage, and there's only so much time in the day. And so what's happening is people are becoming overwhelmed. Consumers, customers, becoming very overwhelmed with just too many choices and too much information coming at them. And then brands are just struggling to get their message across and to reach the right people on the right platform. So social saturation is absolutely a real thing. And this is impacting organic reach in particular. Organic reach across pretty much all the social platforms is very, very low. On Facebook, you're lucky to get somewhere between 1 to 5 or 6%. And so of course, brands have to invest in paid campaigns, but there are ways around this. So one of those things is what's called the discovery engine. And that is what made TikTok so successful, where you go onto the app and that algorithm knows you better than anybody on the planet, and it selects content for you and presents it to you. This is exactly what's happening on both Facebook and Instagram, where 20% or even more of the content people see in their feeds is from totally random people. They call it unconnected. People you don't follow, business pages you don't follow, accounts you don't follow. The whole idea is almost like surprise and delight. It's discovery or it's recommendation. And because Meta has come to know its audience so well, what's happening is people, myself included, I find myself going through that feed and I'm like, gosh, there's something new and different. I didn't know about that person or this account. And it becomes very addictive. It draws you in because there's an element where the brain goes, what am I going to see next? Of course, that's a challenge for businesses and brands, is how do they get their content seen and discovered when there's this whole aspect of randomness, if you will. I've always said, whether you're a B2B or B2C business, you are P2P, you're people to people. And so really making sure that you do your homework, you've done your research on your audience, you understand their needs, their wants, their desires, what keeps them up at night. And you not being to the point of being creepy where you're like trying to over-friend them, but like really showing in your content that you understand, you have empathy, you have compassion, whatever your product or service, that you're able to really relate to your audience in a way that they feel like they belong. It feels very interruptive. And the younger generation in particular, the Gen Zs, they're like, don't you be trying to sell us stuff. You know, we're here to just hang out on this platform and engage with really great content and get drawn into these wonderful stories. So it's really important to not have your content feel like so interruptive. For the longest time, like 15 years, I've had this saying that I'm well known for, and that is, content is king, but engagement is queen, and she rules the house. Then about 6-8 months ago, I changed my code up a little bit because across the board in all social channels, engagement rates were coming down, down and down and down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I mentioned with Mark Schaefer's book on community, content is king, but community is queen now. Community rules the house. So the more a brand can lean into creating community, the better. Another way to thrive in the social verse is absolutely to become much better at listening, social listening. Brands would do well to appoint a CLO, a Chief Listening Officer. That's a term that's been around for, I don't know, a decade or more. And so there are some amazing tools out there that brands and businesses of all sizes can utilize to really deeply understand what audience members are saying, their followers or people that don't follow them, people talking about their products or services, their experience with the company, competitors, and just really having a finger on the pulse of coming back to this piece of empathy and compassion. When you get really good at social listening, you can just create much, much better content and building that community where just people love to follow you. You have this really positive reputation in the marketplace.